Just recently, we were asked to reconstruct a car crash that happened in South Florida. It involved a pickup truck that went off the road and rolled over several times, and the driver in the vehicle was severely injured. The allegation was that the vehicle wasn't properly serviced and that parts were missing from the vehicle when it was repaired and brought back into service. We were asked by our client to determine whether those parts were actually on the vehicle during the accident and whether their service to the vehicle caused this accident.
I work on the visualization team, and when we began working on this case, we went out to visit the accident site and document any evidence that we were able to find out there, gouge marks, looking specifically at the path of travel of the vehicle, trying to determine, in this case we were brought on 5 years after the accident occurred, so obviously there were no tire marks or skid marks left on the roadway surfaces, but we were able, through on-site photogrammetry, to determine the location of those and document where those might be for future use back at the office. So fortunately, the vehicle in this case was available for us to go out and analyze. So we surveyed the vehicle and specifically documented components that were alleged failure in the case.
So I'm an accident reconstruction engineer, and once we had the scene completely mapped out, I was ready to begin the reconstruction, figure out the speeds, the roll trajectory, other important things to reconstruct this crash and figure out the cause of the crash.
And whether or not it was feasible that that washer that in fact we were able to see in the photograph is the subject washer of this case.
The subject tire was the front right tire, and as a vehicle rolls, it has multiple ground impacts, and we found that there was a lot of upward force as well as downward force on this tire during the roll sequence. So one of the allegations in this case was that this washer was missing, and because of that, it allowed this entire assembly to pull through the upper control arm. You can see this washer is in place. It's much more difficult to pull. A washer actually has to pull through the nut.
So after we found this evidence, it proved that our client wasn't liable for this accident. The interesting thing about this case is that this evidence was there for 5 years, and that our technicians and engineers found the evidence that really explained how the accident happened, explained that our client wasn't liable for this accident. And soon after we presented this, the case settled favorably for our client.